Hey, welcome everybody to the Outdoor Showcase. Mike Novisco here, and there's Sheila Bunch.
Hey
We
guys.
are we are 2 weeks away from the show, and it just feels like we were 2 months away from the show, and now we're 2 weeks away, and it is getting to be crunch time.
Oh, I know. Today I am getting all the final touches done, getting my car load or my trailer loaded up, and getting all my stuff ready to be on my way.
Because you'll be loading stuff into the show long before anybody else. You start a good week before everything, trying to get things ready, get the boat dealers in, get the big items in the show, and get that all done, and then the vendors start pouring in.
Yes, I want to try to get everything arranged so that my main focus can be on their arrival, and I try to make it easy on them. And because I know that they've come a long ways, and I know that they're tired, and some of them's been to other shows, and I just want this to be a very pleasant experience for them.
That's why you run a tight ship.
Well, I try my best.
Yeah. So you do a good job at it.
And then it's time for the people to start coming. And I try to make it as great as possible for them also. Well, we all do, not just me. Not just me. Everybody, you included, Mike. And we just try to make it as good as possible. And this year, what we got new, which has been some confusion, but I think we've got that cleared up. But we have a 4-day pass this year. And we've never done that. People's always wanted me to do that, and I really didn't know how to work it. And so I come up with the plan, and I'm hoping it's going to work this year.
And I'm actually glad you said that, because the past, probably 7 or so days, we've had a lot of people asking about that, and wondering how it's actually going to work, how you get them. And the way I understand it, you have there's a cutoff time so that people aren't buying passes right on top of the show. So it's going to be January 22nd is when you're allowed, is when you're allowed to buy tickets online. Is that correct?
Yes. And then after that, all tickets will have to be purchased at the door.
Okay. And is there a one price for online ticket and then another price for tickets at the door, or is it all the same?
Well, it's a little different. It's a little more. The online tickets are just a little more. I think $2 more, but of course they are a surcharge because they're paying with credit cards and stuff. Right. But yeah, but that gets people. There were certain entrants for those people that have the VIP tickets and the people that purchase tickets online to try to get them in faster than people standing in line to purchase tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And we try our best to make sure that they know that out there. We've had people standing outside in line. We've also got signs everywhere, but sometimes people get busy and maybe they're talking to their spouse or talking to their kids, and sometimes they don't look around and read the signs, even though we've got like 12 of them out there. But so we try to have somebody out there to point them in the right location that they're supposed to be in.
Right. And are you going to do the same format, getting people in early as you did last year?
Yes. Yes, on Friday and Saturday. Can't really do that on Thursday because you know how crazy it is trying to get everybody set up and everything. Right. And really can't throw that on the vendors on Thursday. So Fridays and Saturdays, yes, the people that purchase tickets online, they'll get in 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah. I remember vendors showing up like an hour before the show's going to start. Hey, can you get us in?
Oh, I know. And that's why we're doing it. We really didn't. We've only, we didn't make that in all our advertising because we already have people that show up 2 hours early to purchase tickets. So I was trying to make sure there wasn't so much chaos.
Right.
And you never know what's going to happen. You know, last year we had one of the reasons why we're cutting the tickets off this year is because last year they actually crashed the website.
Yeah, they broke the internet.
They crashed the website. Everybody buying tickets at one time, and I mean that's a good problem to have, but sometimes people don't understand that we have no control over everything.
Yeah,
and when they crashed the website, it's really not my fault. It's really not their fault, but we worked and got it fixed. But sometimes it takes us a few minutes to actually get things like that fixed.
Yeah. Especially at the very beginning of the show, at the first day when everything's going. Every seems like everybody wants something at the last minute, and you're getting pulled in 100 different directions. So, yeah, that was a good thing. Ended it the day before. That way you can focus on other things and not have to focus on that.
Yes, and hopefully that will solve the problem that we had last year.
Yeah.
It was just like I never thought about stuff like that until a couple months ago. I had went to Kroger's, and the same thing happened to them, and everything shut down. Nobody could use their card. Nobody could use anything, and I just looked at them and I said, I am not going to be the problem today.
Right.
I'm not going to be your problem. I'm not going to get mad, throw a fit, all that stuff, because sometimes people just don't have control of everything.
That's right.
So, but yeah, I am very excited about this year.
It's kind of like fishing. Some things you don't have control of.
Yes, you don't have control over. You don't have control over the weather. You don't have control over the wind. I mean,
yep.
You don't even have control over who's going to bite that worm either.
That's right. So,
and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. We do have control over.
What's that?
The Ark boat giveaway right there.
Oh, I know.
That is so awesome for them to come around and sponsor the show like they have. And we've talked about this before in other episodes, but you've given away some boats in the years, but I don't think anything like this. This is going to be a Sea Ark. It's a Shadow 18cc, so it's their 18-foot center console boat. It's got a 115 horsepower 4-stroke Suzuki on the back, Marine Master trailer. Just put you some batteries and some electronics, and you're ready to go fish.
That's right. I'm excited about that. Sunday's always a good day when you get to give a boat away.
That's right. And they'll be able to enter to win. Right there, right when you walk in the door, we're going to have boat. That boat is going to be set up right there so they can look at it. They can enter to win, and then they can go in the show and check out all the other boats that Sea Ark has brought. Right, going to be right by the White Pine Marine booth, and they can check out. They're bringing some catfish models, bringing some crappie models, and they're bringing some bass fish models. You're going to be able to visit with them, and you guys have been asking for it for years about more catfish seminars because it's really popular here in Tennessee. We have 4 or 5 of the best catfishing guys in the entire country. The whole Sea Ark team here is coming, and we're doing catfish presentations every single day of the show, including a roundtable with 4 of the best and Alex Nagy moderating. It's going to be a great show.
Yes. And don't forget all our other pros either.
That's right. All the other, we got Shaw Grigsby coming. We have Chad Grigsby, no relation to Shaw, but Chad Grigsby, who is 2-time FLW Tour winner and runner-up at the Forest Wood Cup. He's coming. I think that's his first year at the show that he's ever been there. We also have John Cox showing up on Saturday only. That is the 25th. I'm sure you guys know who he is. It's going to be great. But then we also got Captain Jim, who's on our show tonight. We've also got Skylar Hamilton going to be doing some crappie fishing seminars. We've got Josh from Hummingbird, always a favorite. I think I'm doing something too. So it's going to be a great bunch of seminars, as always, at the East Tennessee Fishing Show.
Yes. 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 And I'm excited about that too. We've got some new pros that's coming this year that's not been to the show.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be great.
Yep. And then you never know who might just show up. You'll walk around the aisles and you see somebody in a booth like, man, I didn't even know you were going to be here. So,
yeah,
you never know who you're going to find.
No, you don't know who you're going to run into. And that's the great thing about the fishing show. And, and one of the best things about the East Tennessee Fishing Show is you're going to find products that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else.
That is right.
You're not going to be able to get them anywhere else. So that's one of the things that I'm proud of when it comes to this show.
Products you can't find anywhere else and vendors that don't go to any other show but yours.
That's right. So, and I am excited about that.
If you want to see it, there it is. And we actually had a trivia. It was National Trivia Day last week, I think. And Brandy put up a post. You were the one that come up with the question. And what is the I believe what is the most unique thing about the East Tennessee Fishing Show? And that was the answer right there. That you can find things that you can't find at any other show. And I believe we do have a winner, and we're going to announce. We had another contest too. It was an ugly sweater. It was National Ugly Sweater Day, and we had. I
didn't participate.
Yeah, we had some winners from that too. So next week's show, we will go ahead and post those up, and then they can claim their. I think it was a pair of tickets, something like that. I forget what you had designated for a prize.
We might want to do something like that again.
So leading up to the show, you mean?
I think that'd be fun. I can think of several questions I would like to ask right now.
Okay.
So, hey, that's not a bad idea. Okay. Let me think real fast. Oh, I know a good one. It's not show related. But what is the name of my dog?
Okay, that's a good one. And I have a good show. I was thinking about this morning. A good show question is name, and I'm sure there's many of them, but name one vendor that's been at the East Tennessee Fishing Show every single year
since I have started it. Yes. Yes, and they are several ways because there's several of them, and people could actually win on that.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that. Can we do that today?
We can do that today. So here's what you got to do in the comments. Just post a vendor that's been at the East Tennessee Fishing Show every single year since Sheila has run it. I forget how many, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 15, whatever it is. Post that in the comments, and then we will send you, if you win, we will send you a message, and Sheila will pick a prize.
Yes.
Sound good?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, well, let's get on with our show. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be visiting with Captain Jim. So,
sounds good.
Sounds good. We'll be right back with more Outdoor Showcase.
The East Tennessee Fishing Show and Expo, sponsored by Sea Arc Boats, is back January 23rd through the 26th. If you fish, don't miss the latest fishing gear, equipment, and apparel, featuring products never seen before, with more vendors than ever, covering over 100,000 square feet. Check out the latest boat models and get Expo-only deals on new boats and kayaks with special financing. Plus, register to win a boat from Sea Arc Boats. It's the East Tennessee Fishing Show and Expo at the Knoxville Expo on Clinton Highway.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
"Oh, let's go back with you here at the Outdoor Showcase." And boy, I tell you what, we're just now a few more weeks away from the East Tennessee Fishing Show. The doors are going to open. It is show season. Things are going full steam. And here's one guy. He's been a favorite at the East Tennessee Fishing Show for several years now. He's got great seminars on different species, but most likely stripers. And he does do some muskie stuff and some walleye stuff too. So never a dull moment when we got Captain Jim here at the show. Captain Jim, how are you?
Yeah, good morning. Great. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Glad you're going to be back with us visiting again at the East Tennessee Fishing Show. And last year when we had you on the show, you had some really cool glide baits, and that's something that's really taken off in bass fishing. I'm sure stripers too, but they were a big hit for you last year. And I know you've got some new designs of things, but just give us a little rundown of some of that and maybe some of the stuff you're going to do in your presentations. And for those of you who don't know, Captain Jim runs one of the biggest striper fishing guide services here in Tennessee, in fact, maybe anywhere that I know of. But you fish Cumberland and a bunch of all different types of lakes, and that's what you'll tell us about.
Yes, sir. We actually have 9 striper waterways, all of which, but 2 are in Tennessee. There's a couple in Kentucky. We're on Lake Cumberland. We're above Lake Cumberland on the Laurel Trace, below Lake Cumberland, Cumberland River. Those are where I fish mostly as the owner. Those are where the world's largest freshwater stripers are. And I have a trout farm, and we use 3 to 4 pound, 15 to 18 inch rainbow trout as bait, catching 40, 50 pound fish. It's pretty amazing. I have clients come see me from Africa, Australia, Japan. They come from all over the world to come to Tennessee to go after these freshwater stripers. And it's a real unique biosphere in the Cumberland River because the water comes out of several hundred feet deep at Lake Cumberland. So it's, 53 to 55 degrees year round. And cold water has, heavy oxygen in it. And these fish fight the current all the time. And they're just massive fish. And where I fish, they have to be 4 feet long just to keep one. So they really gives them a chance to get big, and I enjoy that. But we also do over towards the show, Cherokee Lake, Norris Lake, and you can go on my website, striperfun.com, and altogether we have 16 guides on 14 waterways, fishing 8 different species of fish in 4 states, but the majority of them are in Tennessee, yes.
Yeah. So if you can't find something to catch going with Captain Jim, you probably don't need to go, unless it's something in the saltwater, which we don't have in Tennessee.
All right.
So I saw some, I don't know, had seen something on social media. You guys caught a couple of real giant stripers pretty recently, I think. Is that right?
We did. We caught a new company record fish. It was 57 pounds. Took a big 4-pound rainbow trout and, ran like a scared, irate Duke fan. I mean, woo, off she went. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry for the Duke people out there. It's my standard old stupid joke. But, yes, we caught some nice fish. We had 3 over 50 this year, quite a few over 40. And, of course, our smallest fish daily is generally 25 to 30 pounds on the river when we use bait like that. And in the other waterways, those stripers are all, 8 to 10 pounders, good eater size. We'll occasionally catch a 15, 20 pounder out of Lake Cumberland or Cherokee. Of course, Cherokee has hybrids as well, as does Thames Ford. And those are lakes where we have 20, 30, 40 fish days sometimes, where the numbers are great. So you can, if you're bringing kids or bringing your wife and you want to get your rod bent, we also have striper waterways like that. The Laurel Trace, of course, is we only fish it April, May, June, and July, 4 months out of the year. This is the trace water that comes out of one of my walleye lakes, Laurel Lake. And it's a deep water lake, and it's a box canyon that runs for a mile with high 100-foot wall cliffs that pours into the Cumberland River. Well, during the summer months, the hot months, the bait fish go up in there because that cold water discharge comes out of the dam. And I mean, we rarely do a full 6-hour charter because people get tired of catching them. I mean, after a couple hours, we've caught 40, 50 fish. They're all nice 8, 10 pounders. We'll occasionally catch a 20 out of there. So we have some different opportunities for the people that want to get out and the people that want to go after a true world record, which we've had a couple world records on this. They're world records because a big fish doesn't get to be a big fish being a fool.
That's right.
And, they go around the boat for 30 minutes, 3 or 4 different times, and you just can't get them in. But one of these days we'll hit a new world record.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
In the Cumberland's a beautiful place to go fish. I bass fished it for the first time a couple of years ago, and my wife Brandy went with me, and it's amazing the amount of waterfalls that you can find just driving around the lake, looking in little pockets and coves, and she got pictures of all different kinds. So it's just a beautiful lake to go fish with the scenery.
It is. It's gorgeous. Of course, that was my original lake 35 years ago when I first started guiding. And now, we've expanded out to 8 species and, all these different waterways. And of course, all of my guides are, top flight. We're all insured, licensed. We do everything the way that it needs to be done. Rules are made to be followed. And it's worked out real well. If you want, I could show you a couple of our new lures that we've just come out with.
Yeah, I'd really like to see those too.
As you know, we do the glide baits, but we also have been testing all summer and through the fall and now early into the winter some new longer diving striper lures. And as you can see, this is our new naturalized shiner lure. I'll get it up there so the customers can see a little. But it dives. This is our Lucky 17. All of these are 17s. I called it that because if you put it out 100 feet and troll it at 2 miles an hour, it runs 17 feet deep. And 17's always been kind of a lucky number for us. So this is the new shiner. And you can also fish these lures as twitch baits in 8 to 10 feet of water. You throw it out, it floats, of course, and then you just twitch it 2 or 3 times, reel it real quick once, twitch it a couple more times, and it drives the big fish crazy. So there's our shiner. This is the new alewife model. And as you can see, it looks just like an alewife. And it has translucent eyes. Take a look at the eyes on that.
Yeah. Oh, what's the length of that bait?
Pardon?
What's the length?
So these are 7 inches.
Okay.
Yes. And then, of course, our old faithful rainbow trout lure. As you can see, the rainbow trout pattern on that. But yes, you can troll these. I find these to be excellent, just like my umbrella rigs, for what I call search and destroy missions, which is to hunt the schools of fish. So I can put one out each side, one out in the back, and of course, get my trolling motor or gas motor to get your gas motor down to 2 miles an hour. Guys, what you want to do is put 10 feet of rope on a 5-gallon bucket and tie it off on the gunnel and throw one out each side. And it will slow your outboard down to about 2 miles an hour, which is your prime trolling speed. And then what we'll do is we'll troll around until all of a sudden, bam, 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 we start getting hit. Okay, and then when I find a school of fish like that, especially on Lake Cumberland or Cherokee, Tim's Ford, one of the lakes where I'm not fishing monsters. Of course, I troll these lures on the Cumberland River too, but I only do 2 at a time because many times we'll double up when we have a male and female big 30, 40-pound fish kind of hanging out together, and we'll double up. But yeah, once you find the fish, then you can go back and drop live bait on. That's why it's kind of search and destroy.
Yeah.
And of course, the one of the ways we do that, my original Captain Jim Special aggravator umbrella rig, which as you can see here, the original has 9 jig heads. See the little underspins on them. I don't know if people can see that, but it has a little spinner beneath of it. This has been my top producer for 25 years now. But because there's certain states, and mostly Tennessee, where you're not allowed to, you're only allowed to have 3 hooks.
Right.
We now have come out with a Tennessee Thumper model, which is around here somewhere. Here it is. And as you can see, the Thumper model just has the 3 swim baits to make it legal, but then you have spinners. Well, this model is really cool because this time of year, the stripers are hanging more in 15 to 20 feet of water, sometimes in 10 feet of water. And you'll have, you'll see the birds diving and they're fairly close to the surface. Well, this lure, when you put it back 100 feet and troll it at 2.5 miles an hour, it's only going to run about 12 feet deep. Okay. Plus it's legal. Now, if you do want to run it deeper, if you see the fish running, holding it 25 to 30 feet, what I do is I'll put a couple of 4-ounce seekers right above the hosel here on the line. And that gives it the same amount of weight as my original aggravator umbrella rig. Okay. Which those are legal all over the country. There's just a couple of states where you can only have 3 hooks,
Right.
Indiana, Tennessee, and a couple of more. So we want to follow the law. We want to be in compliance. But during the winter months, this is all, I don't even do live bait on Lake Cumberland, Cherokee, Norris, any of those lakes. I run my thumper lures here. And because the fish are closer to the surface, you don't have to put it out as far.
Yeah.
And works like a champ. I mean, we double up frequently. On most days, I'm going to produce out of Lake Cumberland 8 to 10 nice fish, and it's nice. You don't have to get up at 3 in the morning, throw the net.
That's right.
You get out there, and it's one of the reasons as the owner I fish the Cumberland River now. I have a trout farm. I raise my trout, and I don't have to get up as an old man and throw the net all the time.
Yeah.
So that's the way it kind of goes. Yeah.
So on that umbrella rig, could you, instead of running spinners, can you run, like we can run dummy swim baits with no hooks in them, just
Yeah.
to screw in heads?
Yeah.
So you can do that.
You can do that. I just like the spinners. And this lure also produces very well for me in the Cumberland River in the spring when the fish are holding in 10 to 12 feet of water. I'll only put it back about 50 feet. But we have days when the Cumberland River will muddy up some and murky up some. And these fish will sight feed and they have trouble finding my trout.
Mhm.
So I'll put 2 of these out the back and 2 out the sides, put them back 50 to 60 feet, okay, and troll them, again, with my 5-gallon buckets out to get it down to about 2 to 2.5 mile an hour, okay? And the spinner baits cause a tremendous flash in the water, which the fish can see, okay? So I'll put them back, and we'll catch a lot of big stripers on these shallow running umbrella rigs, where in my normal umbrella rig, you couldn't run them that shallow because they would be getting down, digging up, and you'd be losing your rigs. Okay. So this will be part of the seminar I'm going to teach. The seminars, and folks, if you've never been, you need to come to the East Tennessee Fishing Show. This is the world's largest indoor show. There's all kinds of vendors with great fishing equipment. There's more things that I could talk about in 2 hours, but this is my favorite show. This is the only show I teach seminars at. Because the people like them, they want to learn about this. I do a striper seminar where we cover how to fish these umbrella rigs. And of course, you can come by the booth and take a look at them. But we talk about 7 different ways to live bait fish, how to read your marine electronics, which I don't do a lot of that. I'll let Mike do that because, he's great at that. His seminar is just terrific on how to read your marine electronics. But a lot of it is just, there's simple things that you'll learn that will help you keep fish. Here's a freebie today, okay? Like I use red hooks. Well, why would I use red hooks? Red looks like blood, right? No, that's a misconception. It does look like blood, but the color red disappears in the water stream. So if you're using fluorocarbon leader, which is invisible in the water, and a red hook, which is invisible in the water, you immediately have a greater advantage over the fish. So, there's just all kinds of stuff in the seminars like that you can pick up that will help you become a more proficient fisherman.
Great. And that's what we want. We want people to come to the East Tennessee Fishing Show, buy some tackle, go visit Captain Jim, buy some umbrella rigs, get some of his new minnow baits, diving baits, and glide baits too.
Yeah.
And catch your seminars.
Here's some of our glide baits. This is our new bone shad, which this has been a really good seller. And of course, a lot of the bass guys buy these. And we throw these for muskie as well. And there's one of those. And of course, this is our brand new golden glimmer, which look at the shine on that. Okay.
Great looking. Nice.
Yeah, it's a great looking glide bait. These are 6 inches long. And it's just a twitch of the rod and it will shoot over about 2 feet. You pause for a second, twitch it again, boom, it shoots over this way. And it's like an underwater walk the dog. The difference is it's gliding a couple of feet over, couple feet over, couple feet over. Then you pause it, it'll very slowly sink. Then you start again. A lot of times, right when you pause it, they will absolutely destroy it. We caught a 48-pound fish on one one of our other lures, which I'll show you here. This is probably my top seller here. This is our juvenile skipjack. And I don't know if people are familiar with that, but before a skipjack gets a year old, they look just like this. They have a bright gold back. There's a black line that runs down the middle, and then a white belly. And then after about a year, they metamorphosize and they turn silver. And it's a big silver fish. But this is a juvenile skipjack, and they absolutely burn these things up. And we had a customer throwing one of these on a Garcia 5500 reel with 30-pound test line, and it had about spooled us. I had to actually start the gasoline motor and go get it because it was running upstream, taking all the line off the reel. And you can see all that. We have our own YouTube channel, same as the name of the company, Striper Fun, and you can watch hundreds of videos of these big stripers coming in, from many years of doing this on the Cumberland River.
Yeah, very cool. We got to take a commercial break, Captain Jim, but it's going to be great to see you here at the East Tennessee Fishing Show coming up. Hey, it's January 23rd through the 26th. We got the seminar scheduled I think it's done, and it's going to be posted up pretty soon, but you can catch Captain Jim all 4 days of that show. He's a wealth of knowledge. Go check him out at the booth. Go check his seminars out. And is it striperfun.com? Yeah,
striperfun.com, and then from there, again, you can see our 9 striper waterways, our 8 walleye waterways. And we do smallmouth, largemouth. We do lots of crappie trips as well. And of course, we do muskie trips on 2 different waterways, 8 species altogether. And we work hard to keep our clients safe, have a good, fun trip. And we appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. Look forward to seeing everybody at the show. Thanks. Good to see you.
Going to be a great show, and we'll see you very soon, Captain Jim.
Thanks.
Going to take a very quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Outdoor Showcase.
The East Tennessee Fishing Show and Expo, sponsored by Sea Ark Boats, is back January 23rd through the 26th. If you fish, don't miss the latest fishing gear, equipment, and apparel, featuring products never seen before, with more vendors than ever, covering over 100,000 square feet. Check out the latest boat models and get Expo-only deals on new boats and kayaks with special financing. Plus, register to win a boat from Sea Ark Boats. It's the East Tennessee Fishing Show and Expo at the Knoxville Expo on Clinton Highway.
Hey, welcome back. Mike Delvisco, Outdoor Showcase, and our last segment of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed Captain Jim. He is always one with a wealth of knowledge talking about striper fishing and walleye fishing and whatever else he can catch. But, hey, right now we got Captain Don from not New Orleans. He's from St. Bernard Parish in Louisiana. And this is going to be his first time at the East Tennessee Fishing Show. And I'll tell you what, Captain, I love going to catch trout and redfish and flounder. And I did see on your websites, or actually Facebook page, saw some really nice sheep's head too. But you live in a place where you can catch so many different kinds of shallow inshore fish. It's got to be a real special thing.
It is. Louisiana is probably one of the most diverse and most beautiful marsh areas that you can find throughout the country. We have a very, very vibrant ecosystem. Even though we do have a lot of coastal erosion, there are some projects that are going on through the federal and state government where they're trying to, rebuild some of our coastline. But even with that being said, we still have, the Mississippi River Delta marsh provides such a, you could go out in any area and catch largemouth bass, freshwater blue cats, speckled trout, redfish, flounder, sheephead, drum, all in the same, in separate casts from each other.
Yeah. And that's what's really cool about that is, you think that, okay, you're going to go book a redfish trip or trout, trip, catching a largemouth bass someplace. But it's crazy how resilient some of those, right on that edge of that, that brackish water, how resilient the fish is. And
it is,
and, like you said, too, resilient to the weather, because it is volatile. There's a lot of different things that happen weather-wise down there where you're from, and it seems like things come back better and better.
Yeah, one thing about Louisiana, we no matter what we're faced with devastation wise, even with this recent tragedy that was in the city of New Orleans, Louisianians bounce back and we push forward.
Yep. So where is St. Bernard Parish for those who
St.
don't?
Bernard Parish lies east of the city of New Orleans. We are the eastern facing shoreline of New Orleans. Most of our intercoastal marsh is a salt to brackish type environment. During the summer times, we fish more towards the exterior, Breton Sound to Chandelier Island, Breton Island, those areas, which would be the eastern side of Louisiana going to the Gulf of Mexico. Most of our fishing is done in anywhere, or at least for me, for inshore charters, is done in anywhere from 1.5 feet to maybe 15 feet of water at the most.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, you're in areas to where you can almost see the especially with redfish. When we sight cast for redfish, you can actually see them swimming in the ponds and casting actually at the redfish that you're wanting.
That's really cool. Sight fishing for them. I've had the chance to do a little bit of that. Most of my red fishing that I've done down in Louisiana has been, down in Venice. Obviously it's a great place to go. Pop and cork fishing. Your typical deal. But we did have an occasion where it just got too windy, and we had to get up in some shallow water. We were fishing some. The old Johnson spoon, that you'd fish for bass, silver spoon. In fact, I think we're using gold ones, and up in the reeds and stuff. And we were watching, for the fish, kind of sight fishing for them. But that's fun when you can see them and catch them too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys catch your fair share of trout there too. That's I never realized how good a trout was to eat until I caught some down in the Keys, and there's a restaurant there that lets you bring them in and you can cook them up, and they're fantastic.
Well, we have quite a few restaurants that are down by us that allow you to do a catch and cook. But yes, speckled trout is a very mild, very white, flaky type fish. It's probably one of the most popular to do, fried. Although when you start getting a little bit bigger trout, the 16, 17, 20-inch trout, they're done better as a trout almondine or a trout manure or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, a misunderstood fish is a sheephead. You want to talk about a delicious fish.
They're very good.
The sheephead. That is the red snapper of inshore waters.
Yeah. You are 100% correct.
Oh yeah, and they're a serious fight.
Yeah, and they're not easy to catch either. They're kind of crafty.
For us, no, they're pretty easy.
Are they?
Throw dead shrimp under a cork. Right up against we have a system or an area that we fish called the Mississippi River Gulf Outlet Rocks. It's a man-made rock, diversion system. It was an outlet. It was designed. It was originally built in the late 50s for shipping industry to have a shortcut to get into the port of New Orleans without having to go up the Mississippi River. Well, after Hurricane Katrina, they blocked it off from major shipping, and it has now become more of a fish reef area. And you will find anglers all throughout the winter, the spring, summer, fall that are fishing all along the rocks. And it is continually loaded anywhere from your sheephead to bull reds to speckled trout to jack crevalle, sharks, whatever you want to fancy. Coming up probably in February, March, and April, your sheephead starts spawning. And you start finding an 8, 9, 10-pound sheephead.
Nice.
and yeah, all you've got to do is it's more about placement than it is anything else. Getting that cork with the dead shrimp or live shrimp right up against the rock system, where the rock jetty is, and just waiting for the cork to go under.
Okay. I fished for them in Charleston in the on the the bridges and stuff like that, and crabs, and it seems like for every one you catch, you sacrifice about 10 crabs. So
oh no, we're almost to the point to where if once I can teach a client well enough to where when the cork goes under, this is how you have to pull for it. It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about Louisiana is we have no limits on sheephead.
Oh yeah,
you can go home with as many as them as you want.
Yeah, I forgot what South Carolina was, 5 or 6 or whatever the limit was.
Florida's 8. I think Florida's 8.
Yeah, that's very cool. And it's saltwater stuff. Even being a bass fisherman my entire life, and it's what I do for a living. But there's nothing like going out there in the saltwater. And with you coming to East Tennessee, we don't have salt water in East Tennessee. So if somebody that's coming to that show, wants to go catch some redfish or sheep's head or trout or whatever, they got to come to you. So that's a great thing. It's always a big draw at that show. And I think you're going to have a really, really good time. We're happy that you're coming out. But the name of the company, we didn't even get to that yet, is Peter's Net Fishing Adventures, and you're the captain, and you do half day trips, 3/4 day, full day. What's your typical schedule when somebody wants to book a trip?
I do half day trips. Prefer to do normal regular trips. The only thing, I've got clients that book half day trips that are just in and can only afford a few hours, but your better value is to do a full day trip. You get basically 8 hours of fishing. We leave at 6:30 in the morning. We're back in the dock around 1:30. That way there, I'm not limited as to where I can take you on fish. If you book a half day trip for 4 hours, I'm kind of limited as, either I can spend most of it in boat riding, to go find a few fish, or, I've got to stay close and you may not find as many. Generally and there's not a big difference in the cost wise between a half day and a full day. But the full day trip includes, your bait, your fuel, your ice, fish cleaning, rods, reels. I even include bottled water. The only thing you need to provide yourself would be, whatever you want to eat, or, other than water, what you want to drink.
Yeah.
If you want alcohol, that's fine. I just don't allow glass bottles.
Nice. Show up and go fish.
That's it. Just show up and go fish, and make sure you have now, unlike a lot of other states that I have seen, Louisiana does require that any angler that fishes with us, they do have to have a saltwater fishing license. Now, we do offer the 3-day charter permit, for $23, and that covers you, as while you're with the guide.
Yeah.
But Louisiana does require a license.
Yeah, more and more states I think are going to that now too. So I don't think there's many that I've even fished that you don't have to have one. So, and it's a good thing. Website is petersnet.com. Pretty easy to go find. And I believe, I don't know what the Facebook page is. I was on your Facebook page earlier.
PetersNetsFishingAdventures.com. It's Peter's Nets Fishing Adventures.
Yeah, drooling over all those fish pictures that you were showing.
We were slamming the trout up until Monday. Monday we had a very, like probably what you're dealing with now, we had a hard cold front came through.
Yeah.
Now we didn't see the snow that you're getting, but we did get colder temperatures. Now what it did is it took our water temperatures from, I fished last week and our water temperatures were like 64 to today when I looked at it was 46.
Ooh, that's cold.
For the first few days, for about a week, yes, that's going to kind of slow the bite down. Yep. Now, by this weekend, you can find fish again. You just got to kind of change your pattern. Like when your water's in the 60 and 70 degree water temperature, you can fish your flats and fish under a cork, which is a primary way that we do a lot of fishing, is putting a popping cork with a 24 to 36 inch leader and either artificial or live shrimp, under a cork.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into your water temperatures and start getting into the mid to upper 40s and low 50s, what you got to do is early in the morning, you got to fish it deep. You got to go to find your deep holes, anywhere between 9, 10, 12 foot deep, and fish it slow. Once your water heats up, as the day progresses and the sun comes out, you can start moving to the flats, because they will come up into the flats, because those 2 and 3 foot water columns will heat up faster than your deep water. So they'll go up into those shallower columns during the middle of the day. So, fish are to be found year round.
Yeah. It's just how you're going to fish for them is
exactly.
So, yeah, I'm afraid that we are now here in the Tennessee deep freeze, for what we're going to be. It's going to be, 35 to 40 every day, every 4 or 5 days, maybe a little kind of weather system, and then sunny. And that's what it's going to be like for about a month here. And then it starts to moderate. But, hey, that's a good show going. Whether that means more people are going to come to the East Tennessee Fishing Show.
Yeah, y'all can keep that cold weather out there.
Yeah. And that show is January 23rd through the 26th. Hey, you got Captain Don there with Peter's Net going to be at the show for the first time. Make sure you check him out. And check him out online, petersnet.com, or social media. Give him a call, get down there and book a trip, come see him at the show. And I really appreciate you being on with us. Nice to have and see new people coming into the show. We try to, focus on that here at the Outdoor Showcase and try to get some of our newer vendors to come on with us.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing.
And we will see you. We are all out of show for this week, but we have one more show after this one before the doors open to East Tennessee Fishing Show. So travel safe, catch some fish between now and January 23rd, and we will see you. See you there at the show.
See you then.
All right, there goes Captain Don, Peter's Net. Go check him out and check out all the cool saltwater stuff that he's got. Love that saltwater fishing. We are all out of show, but I will see you next week for one more show before the doors open at the East Tennessee